Welcome back to No Nonsense. A lot going on this week in the Premier League, Will. But before we start, I just want to say that Callum Hudson-Odoi had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay?
Yeah, confirmed.
All right? Okay? Yeah. His name's on the list, but it was a different Callum Hudson-Odoi or whatever. You know. Not for nothing. I know there's a lot going on, but I just think it's good to bring that up again.
Yeah, don't let people, things on the internet, sometimes you forget. Sometimes they pop back up though, and people be like, do you know he was on the Epstein list? Like, no.
No, there's been 2 wars to try and get rid of that, so don't bring that up. Anyway, it's happening again to Arsenal. It's happening all over again. It's nightmare deja vu. It's like a just recurring nightmare every year in April.
This is the worst as well, because I feel like they have, Arteta especially, has ramped up the weird midweek training things, which normally they happen start of the season. But when you see like literally cartoony training montage video going up of them doing ridiculous things, and then they lose to Bournemouth, it's like, oh my God, you can't be doing both. You can't be doing both of these things, lads.
Yeah, like I do think the performance on the pitch and the results are separate from the fans' reaction. Like, whatever, get behind the lads, and
have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as you said.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what's happened on the pitch, I don't know if the fans leaving, the fans were leaving and all that, which, whatever, it's not a good look. So else is a good look. Not win the league for 24 years. That's not a good look either, So I don't give a fuck if it's a good look. But I do think leading up to this game, what you had, losing the Carabao Cup, it's like, oh, well, it's probably the least important trophy, FA Cup's like, well, you'll still take the Champions League and the league. That'd be a hell of a double. And then, you play a game against Bournemouth at home, knowing you got City next, knowing that's basically the Premier League final. And what happens leading up to the game? You're fucking putting out videos of the lads doing like weird, like say, start of the season stuff, like holding pens and run the pitch, like not working on like, the counter-attack or running at, being a bit more direct. We know what we're going to do on the pitch. This is just about like, team bonding. Which is like, say, we're in April. I mean, they're not knowing each other by now.
It's been years of this squad and management.
Yeah. Most of the squad has been there for a while. And then you got the TikTok videos, which again, this was the first time I was praying was AI. I was like, please let this be AI. Please let this be a not a real thing.
Even worse, it was the worst of both worlds, where it was a real video of Arsenal really training in front of a gigantic screen showing a TikTok edit, which had an AI Arsenal chant playing over it. Not even a real Arsenal chant.
That's why I was like, oh, maybe it is AI, because this feels off, but that's just the video that they chose. Playing blaring the TikTok. Jeez, like if I was training, I'm like, I'm actually going to put in a transfer request. Because this is...
I'm trying to get away from the screens.
This is the one time of the day I'm not on the screen. And now you're blaring TikTok into my senses. This is awful. I don't know. It's you say you don't look at the bad stuff, but don't look at the good stuff either. Don't look at the hype videos. Don't look at the hate comments, because like it just messes with your mind. Like, you're just blaring this fucking AI slop into your players' heads. I just So then when you're a fan, you're seeing all this. People are sending to your group chats and look at these fucking clowns. Like, fuck, what can I say to that? They are clowns. And then you go out to Bournemouth. It's 1-1. Instead of you pushing for the win, they get the winner. You've paid whatever, fucking 80 quid for that ticket, maybe, or your season ticket holder. Like, why the fuck? And then, like, you're not even looking like scoring.
Yeah, no way.
So, like, I'm going to stay around for 5 minutes. It's like, oh, like if they got the goal back, like they're not going to get a goal back. Of course, not going to get a goal back.
Yeah, they were not threatening at all. Again, it was like, it's been the story of the season, but it was like, when a corner came or a set piece, then the crowd kind of went, oh, here we go. We can score from these. These do happen. But like once Bournemouth defend a few corners, that does go then as well. Eventually it's a corner. They're able for it. Petrovic will punch it away.
And it's you're if you're a fan of the stadium, I guess what you're worried about is being caught on camera and being made part of the meme. You know what I mean? Like, God, I don't, because this guy will pan across to like us
who's
in the
crying?
crowd, like looking shit. He's get the crier, get him on there. You might, like, it's April. It's recency bias. You'll be the beam for this season if you're not careful.
Yep.
Get out of there. Get out of the stadium. They're not going to score. Don't be part of the story. But yeah, like, I don't think it's like the fans' fault that they've lost the last few games. It's just there's an overwhelming misery and fear when they're playing the game, And I think the more it gets closer to, they're going to lose it, the more Arteta is like, well, this has worked so far, so let's double down on this. They're not trying to, like, I've always said, I don't know of the Champions League game in the midweek, so it'd be hard to practice, but like Tottenham, Man United, Solskjaer to Man United, always beat Pep's Man City. There's a way. There's a tried and tested way. Just do that for this game. Do you know what I mean? But they won't. They'll come and they'll do set pieces, which has never worked for them. If they get the draw, great. But, there's other games then that are going to be equally as full of pressure. If they lose, like, it's over.
Oh.
If they lose, they may as well just like end, like, Arsenal should fall for the rest of the games. Like, it's over.
City are ramping up. And this is also the story of Man City and Arsenal for years now. It's a more extreme version of it where City ramp it up towards the end of a season and Arsenal careen off the tracks towards the end of a season. And it's happening in the most obvious, glaring way. Like, it's coming at you so slowly. But God, like, City absolutely tore Chelsea apart in the second half. I thought they looked crap in the first half, though, I'll say. But then they tore them up in the second.
Yeah.
And like, they tore Liverpool up last week in the cup. They're on it. And
they've beaten Arsenal 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. They beat Liverpool 4-0 in the FA Cup, and they beat Chelsea 3-0 in the Premier League, all in a row.
Back to back, yeah. And I don't think they're at their best in any of those games either.
No, like I said, they were able, like, they had a goal disallowed Chelsea against City. They were able to be got at. In the second half, they kind of locked in or whatever, and blew Chelsea away. Chelsea, like I said, it wouldn't take much because I don't think there's much unity there. I think they're probably. Now look, I've heard lots of things like they're going to finish outside of Europe. They have to, like, we'll lose City and then Arsenal won't win the league. But, like, well, you have 6 games left as well. But I don't think that Chelsea team is worried about it. I think a lot of those players will be playing in the World Cup for teams that will be looking to win it. I think that's probably more in their minds at this point. With every passing day, they're thinking more about the World Cup rather than, hope we can secure top 5. It's like, that's not exciting these players. And they're probably thinking, I might go as well in the summer. If I have a great World Cup, Real Madrid, here I come. Some of them.
Yeah, and also even there's probably some of them that are like, what is the point in me giving my all here now? This manager is not going to be here soon. You know what I mean? So it's like, start fresh in a few weeks with a new fella, probably.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that's the sense of it. But yeah, it is. It's a more condensed version of the City run in April. I think what the stat you put in was 29 of 32 games in April since he's been there, which Pep put down to the Sun. Because
bollocks.
it's
absolute bollocks.
Yeah, well, he said if he had the Sun in November, they'd have won the Premier League by January. Which, look, I don't know. I mean, I think good teams, especially teams who've won lots of leagues, know when to time the kind of run, and it's balancing out throughout the season, managing the season. That's kind of the strength of really good teams. But yeah, it's a good answer. It's funny. He said he's serious, Will. He wouldn't lie.
Yeah. Well, it's just that all of the other teams are also in England with the same weather. So, like, you would think everyone would ramp up in April then.
Yeah, maybe he means himself. Maybe he's depressed in the winter and he's not as, like, I don't know. Again, it's probably not true, but earlier on the season, I would have said Arsenal had the best team.
Yeah.
Like, player for player. I thought Liverpool were maybe just as good, especially when they beat them early on in the season. One is like, yeah, they're pretty good. I was like, Ekitike or Gyökeres, probably Ekitike at this point. But now, like, at this point in the season, I'm looking at the City attack. We have Cherky, who, like, wasn't starting at the start of the season. You've got Semenyo, who they bought in January. You've got Doku, who is more or less the same, but can score if a team just, like, doesn't try anymore. If they just give up in the end, he will get the third or fourth goal. And then you have Haaland as well, who, okay, didn't score this game, but he scored a hat-trick in the last one against Liverpool. It's like, look at the Arsenal attack. And again, it started to seem like, Sack will come into it. He hasn't come into it. It's like, well, they signed Eze. He's fucking pretty good. Not Arsenal, he's not. Gyökeres does have probably, I think, as many goals as Tiki, but it's not the same. It's just he's not as good as Hounds. He's not as good as anybody else for City. And then he's doing stuff, Martinelli or Trossard or Madueke or, Odegaard has been not playing well at all this year. Also, like, now you come into April, it's like, well, now City are better. And they have to play each other. So, like,
how the hell did that happen?
How did that happen? So it's just a condensed version of, whereas usually, like, when Arsenal were dropping points before, that's when City would have caught them, and that would have been it. But it's teased it a lot longer. It's like into April, it's like they're 9 points clear technically. It's heartbreaking stuff. But yeah, I do think the fan reaction is this kind of they're just sick of being made fun of. It's because I've been there before where, like, say City were ahead or Chelsea were ahead in the league. I think it was 14-15 where they paid out on Chelsea in November or something like that. They were just like, oh, these guys won't be stopped. And when they drop points, it was like, oh, maybe there'll be a title race. Maybe, but it was never like, oh, yes, hopefully Chelsea lose. I think the hate watching stuff has really increased, but then also you have to look at the Arteta, all these little antics have made people like, they really don't like that stuff. Same as they don't like the fucking LinkedIn Liam. That sense of kind of insincerity or something. People just go, oh, well, I hope you fucking crash and burn. I hope you fail. Because if you're not real, I don't want that at all.
I think people just don't like managers, especially like kind of eccentric managers who come in and want to like reimagine things. They want to like try outside the box ideas, and they're doing weird stuff in training and stuff. Because what you think as a football fan, like what the average football fan thinks, is like good players, have a go, win the game. So when someone comes in and is like, no, I'm going to mix it up, you do in your head think like, well, you're an idiot and I can't wait to see you fail.
Yeah, I don't want someone coming in reinventing the wheel or thinking they're kind of going to outsmart better footballers. They just want, what it is? It's like people hate fake humble people. When someone pretends to be humble, it's like, oh, fuck off. But when someone's genuinely humble, everyone loves that person. Like, he's actually he's the best. Like, he is the best. You got to give it to him. Because he won't give it to himself. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the Gary Neville stuff over the years, it's probably been a saving grace where he's like, listen, I was all right. Like, I was consistent, but I was no superstar. And he does believe that because he's around superstars all the time. But there's not a sense of like Rooney be like, I wasn't any good. He was like, yeah,
you wouldn't stand for it. He was like, shut up, this is dumb.
You were good, But he doesn't go the other way either. He doesn't brag about it. So it kind of works. But like if Gary Neville was saying like, yeah, I was kind of like the main guy in that team, like, well, okay, he can't do that either, So I think it's just that fakeness of like, does he really think that the pen stuff is going to help? Or is he just trying to convince these guys that they're better than City? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's... he's just become like the figure of it, and also the way these players play, like Saka and Odegaard and Eze, who we've seen play better. Yeah. It's like, this is his fault. He's making them do this. He's making them be defensive and conservative and safe and boring.
I saw an incredible video. I actually forgot to send it to you. It was knocking around on, I think it was like the football Reddit or somewhere, but it was the highlights of Arsenal versus Bournemouth around the same time in the season last year. And it's honestly like watching a different sport, like the way Arsenal are playing. Yeah. Like they're so free flowing and getting at them. But again, that didn't work at the time. But it's just like we said, when you change it to a boring style of football, you better fucking win, and you better fucking hammer the league. By the way, because otherwise, it's just a nightmare to watch. And also, it doesn't lend well to this time of year if you start crumbling mentally. And your game plan is like, all right, keep it tight, no messing, because it's tough to keep it tight when you're freaking out. Yeah,
and I think he's doubling down on what's got him there, But it, like I say, it's just there's a sense from everyone that's like it's not going to work. Like, you have to do something different. It was probably when the Man United game happened. Like, well, they were able to beat you. Yeah, even though they're not going well, they're supposedly not as good. Which again, I might re-examine a bit. Some of them, it's just this. It's not going to change. He's got to double down this, and they're going to lose the title by like 4 points. It's like, if you just attack some of those teams. Like I say, it didn't work the last 3 years prior to this, and nobody was cheering for Arsenal. I think maybe the first year they were, but it was just very funny that they bottled it because Arsenal fans, as fans who haven't won anything in a while, do get like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's funny to see someone get excited and it fail. It just is.
That's the whole
Point
point of football. Yeah.
I don't know if it always was, but certainly it's gone very. I sound old when I say it's gone very online, but it has, and I think it's every game is like to be analyzed. 5 things we learned from every single game. It's like, is there fucking 5 things every game? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bournemouth are pretty good. I give them that. When you think of the players they've lost last summer and in January, and they're still like, pushing for a top 5 finish. Are they around there?
I think they're around there. I think it's a mess around there of teams from like 5th down to 13th are all in the mix. And I saw I think they said in that game they're 1 point off where they were at this stage last season, and they finished the highest they ever did last season, which is mad because I think as well over the last few weeks you'll probably be thinking like, yeah, Bournemouth are going pretty well. It's like not ripping up the league or anything like that, but yes, they are actually. They're doing the best they've ever done nearly.
Because I felt like they started well this year, and then it was like, oh, they've fallen away. But then they've kind of come back. But and not to take it away from them, or even like Iriola, people are like, oh, where Iriola go now? Will he go to Man United? Will he go to City? Will he go to
Don't do that.
Well, it's just there's like very few managers you can think of who've gone from like, oh, they did well at Bolton, and then they became manager of Real Madrid, and they won everything. It's like it's such a different thing. Like selling Semenyo in January. Like, I'm sure Bournemouth fans weren't happy, but there's no coverage of that. There's no like, oh, what is this club's ambition? Are they going to try and finish higher than last season? Why, there's none of that kind of spotlight on like when he's being asked in press conferences for the next game, no one's asking, how could you do this? They're just like, well, of course, it's Bournemouth. They sell players, they stay in the league, So I know, I think it's just different challenges for Bournemouth. Like they're going to that Arsenal game, even though they're playing well and they have really good players. Everyone's like, well, obviously they're going to lose that game. Even Arsenal been playing badly and like the matchups, like no one cares. Everyone's like, you're expected to lose every game. If you win, it's like, wow, what a job he's done, by the way. Whereas the opposite is true if you go to a Man United or an Arsenal. Like you're expected to win every single game. Like no one expects you to go unbeaten or invincible. But every game you lose, there's like questions like, well, why did that happen?
Yeah.
What happened there?
There's a great example. I was watching the highlights of the Crystal Palace Newcastle game, and Mateta scored a brace. And do you remember he was like announced he wanted to leave the club and Glasner wanted to leave and all that stuff?
Yeah.
But like the commentator said, he's back and it looks like it's water under the bridge. It's like, if that was like Man United or fucking Arsenal or something, that story would rumble on forever. It would be video after video, interview after interview. It'd constantly be, what's Glasner's thoughts? What's Mateta's thoughts? What's Glasner's thoughts? It would be non-stop. But because it's Palace, it's kind of just, we'll just forget it. We'll get on with it. We'll be lads.
Yeah, the news cycle kind of moved on. It was like, no one's clicking on this.
No one's talking about Glasner anymore.
Yeah. I think that was his first goal since December, Mateta.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, again, if that's Gyökeres, that's Sesko, if that's Ekitike, Yao Pedro, it's like flop of the season.
Flop Teta? Yeah.
Most disappointing person ever, maybe? Like I saw ones being like, this is probably the worst title defense ever from Liverpool. It's just like, yeah, probably. And it's like, they've been bad champions. Roy Keane has pushed that narrative so well, and now people are like, yeah, they probably have, because the money they've spent, they've probably been the worst champions. It's like, Leicester are going to get relegated from Championship. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, does that count as like bad champions? Like they're going down 2 divisions.
Yeah, it's even Liverpool are, I think they're in 5th at the moment. They won at the weekend. They could probably still come 4th. They could still come 3rd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, worst champions ever, probably, I would say. Yeah, probably, definitely. But yeah, like Bournemouth have done well. I just think of like, if City are pretty well run. I guess City are the example of a well run club with lots of money. But like like the likes of Man United and Arsenal, really, they should be all like that. Why can't they be like Brighton or Bournemouth? Like things are just like seamless, like it's a well-oiled machine. You know, where Bournemouth lose, they lost Solanke, they lost Kirkes, they lost Hoyson, lost Semenyo this year. I was like, doesn't matter. We have 6 more guys you never heard of, and they're better than the last. It's like, how?
Because I was thinking that about like Arsenal losing again in April and all that, and like the performances dropped. And we've said it before, of like, you think it's new players and stuff. Because I was like, why the hell does this have anything to do with Gyökeres? Like, why is he not able to play in April?
Yeah, well, he's been able to play all year, really. He's not really been motoring at all. And yeah, the run in now is really getting them, I think. And I don't know if Arteta is the man to like relax them. I think he's the opposite. I think he makes it worse. I think he's like, right, lads, this week we're doing trust falls off the top of the Emirates. You know, it's like, oh God.
Yeah, the training is very reality TV like. Like each episode is like an episode of Fear Factor, kind of. Just the way it's filmed and stuff, even. It's like it's all, look, we're not here, we're here to win championships, but, we can make friends along the way as well.
Yeah. Well, it's just like if the fans want things changed, like, don't be so defensive. It's like, okay, I'll change the training, I'll change the vibe around here. But, the stuff that's done well. There could be a chance that people have figured it out by now. People have figured it out. They already played you once, This is their second go of it.
I do, remember the Carabao Cup final where City just stood there watching Raya with the ball at his feet, not knowing what to do because no one was pressing him, and went on for a minute. There's just, you've got to change once that happens. Or with Kepa, sorry, yeah.
Raya even more because Raya could have played some passes better. Like Kepa didn't have the ability, and they knew he didn't have the ability. But I mean, yeah, it's look, we'll see now. We'll see, right? Maybe City have been figured out. Maybe that was their Arteta master plan. Lull them in this false sense of security. They've shown their hand at the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, probably not. But
City's plan for the first half in that game was get the ball to Doku and see if you can make something up. That was literally all they did for 45 minutes, to the point where Chelsea were doubling up on Doku, and it was just like, give it to Semenyo now. There's no one on him. It took them so long to figure that out. It was mad. Yeah,
but that's it. They have the options to go either side, and I think that's part of Haaland's plight as well. Because when Saliba was like man marking for the entire game. It's because he's the danger. He's the guy who scores goals all the time. So I mean, you leave him double marked, and then there's Semenyo, there's Doku, and now there's Cherky as well, who's just having a great time with all the freedom to do it.
So good.
Phil Foden is it has little cameos at the end of the game. You know what I mean? So he's completely replaced that kind of that role that Phil Foden's playing, come off the bench when the game's opened up. Yeah, they do look good. They look like they're coming into their own. If I had to guess now, they could win a domestic treble. They could win the 2 cups in the league.
Yeah. And Pep rides off into the sunset. Yeah.
Well, will he? Or will, let me just
that was check. Easy again.
What's the word in these charges? Let me see when the 115 charges are going to... They said last year, didn't they?
Yeah, Bernardo Silva's leaving at the end of the season, so maybe that's something.
Hang on, I'm just going to check Man City charges. News tab.
Sort by most recent.
Liam Gallagher verbally dismantles Richard Key's claim about Man City's 115 charges. I mean, there's only 2 men you'd want to hear less from in any context.
Who put that up?
Sport Bible.
Of course.
Man City's 115 charges says handling of cases damaging for Premier League. That was a month ago. Sure is damaging, I guess.
I think they have looked into the charges getting pushed back to the point where the world doesn't care about anything. Because it's like, oh, did you hear the football team was cheating in the Premier League? It's like, we've got way bigger issues than that going on, lads. Who cares?
Well, it's weird. It's weird, because I think West Brom are going to get done for dodgy dealings.
I saw that, yeah.
Everton have been done, Nottingham Forest have been done. Leicester were deducted points as well. Like I said, they're heading down to the League One. And Man City just continue winning leagues. They continue, they're going to do a treble this year. I'm like, right, nothing to see here. We're still sifting through charge number 62. That's kind of a sticky week at that one.
And it's like an interesting twist in the City story where now I think most people kind of like them. I don't think many people hate them anymore.
Yeah. I don't know if people hate them. I think it's just a nice little like, oh well, this isn't good, you know.
I think though people now are like, because like Sharky's great character, Haaland's great, fucking Semenyo's class. Like they're the most likable they've ever been as a team.
I don't know. I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't like. I know you like Sharky a lot, but
Yeah, I like
other than
Sharky,
that,
right.
it's like, you know, I think it's more just like, well, this is just it's not a team that I know any supporters of. Not saying nobody supporters. I'm just saying they're not as vocal online. I mean, there's you sent me that video of the fucking the Arsenal guy greeting the players,
the really angry. Oh, the guy meeting the players. Yeah, what the fuck was
Mr.
that about?
Mr. Pincus, whatever his fucking name is.
Meeting them on the way into that Bournemouth game. Why is he there?
Locked in, yeah. Fuck off.
You're distracting them.
Like, what? Like, that, like, he didn't sneak in there. Like, that
No.
was like part of, this is what I was saying about, you know, like the Man United marketing team having too much control. This is not the time for this. This is like, it's happening. Like, you need to fucking, but then, I don't know, is this run through Arteta? Probably not. You know? It's probably just outside, it's above him. It says, this is PR. This is big stuff. You know, you worry about the pens and the TikToks will do this stuff, which is also TikToks. You know, like, I just thought this is the kind of stuff where, like, as a fan of Arsenal, you look at that going, oh, this is fucking awful. Like, this is shocking. I don't want this. Who's that for? Like I think that's for 12-year-olds who like that guy. Like, oh, cool. But for anybody above the age of fucking 16, it's like, oh, this is just cringe. Like, and then for opposing fans, like, look, these are fucking clowns. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's because, like, as someone that works in social media, the only reason I think you do that is to. Cottle's gone. Cottle had enough. He left. I think he may have gotten a knock on the door. Maybe from Arsenal, big Arsenal. He's back. Here he comes.
do you want me to meet the players next game? I'm going. I'm going to meet the players. I'm going to wish them well. I'm going to tell them lock in. I can't wait. This is what they need. This will work for me and them.
Because I was going to say, as a social media guy, the only reason you would do that is like, oh, this will get big engagement from people who hate it. So, like, if you're doing that, it's like if you work for Arsenal and you're setting that up, why the hell would you do that? Like, don't worry about the engagement right now. You get plenty of engagement if you win the league.
But that's the marketing guys' KPIs.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not synced up. There's no like Arsene Wenger type figure at the club who's over everything.
Yeah.
It's different. It's just a guy who went to college for 4 years to do journalism.
Yeah.
If you got a good job, it's like, well, look, this is what works. You know, it's called endorsements. It's called collaboration. We'll collab with Mr. Pincus. Look how he follows us on TikTok. This would be huge. He posts that. We can collab on Instagram. Put that in the Arsenal feed. I've made X amount of money, X amount of clicks. He's just doing his job. You know what I mean? The guy who organized that thing, he saw a vision. He's not like, how will this affect the teams? Like, well, I'm trying to keep my job. You know, have you seen what's going on in Iran right now? Like, I got to make myself valuable here. But there should be someone, I don't know, someone who's linked up with, I don't know, maybe Arteta will say, no, I don't want that. I don't want people to fucking touch my players before the game. Like, the guy's like, Max Dowman, please tell me you're starting today. He's like, he looks at the camera, he's like, no. Like, can I say that? Is this live? Am I live?
You better be starting ahead of fucking Martinelli or whatever. Like,
Martinelli, my man, come here. You know, it's
lock in. Do you know what's worse as well? Is that, like, obviously some of the players know him. Like, it's a young team, but some of them, like, do go over and, like, dap him up and, like, yeah. It's like, stop talking to him.
Yeah.
You need to focus, boys. Everyone here is doing a terrible job.
Yeah, it's just upsetting. And again, all these things probably don't matter.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? If they were good enough, they'd like, if there was a City guy equivalent of that, they probably still would have beaten Chelsea 3-0. You know, but it's just, I think that's what I'm getting is that's why the fans are booing, because they're seeing all this kind of stuff, and it's like, I hate this. It's like, I remember when my old housemate in college, we were watching a Pogba ad on TV for like Sure Men or something. Yeah. I was doing like step overs and keep you ups and head. It's like, I wish I did that stuff on the pitch. Like, I only get to see him do stuff in ads. Why is it on every ad? which would not play well. Well, and again, Arsenal 9 points clear, but everyone knows what's going to happen. Everyone knows it's not really 9 points clear. And you see this kind of stuff. It's like, why are we doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Why is this stuff happening?
That's the thing as well, is that like the fans booing, like they're not booing, well, they probably are booing that performance as well, but they're booing like all the surrounding stuff, because the surrounding stuff is the stuff that they have to try defend. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, we're not a joke like club, Arteta's not mad, all this stuff, but then like they just constantly make your life harder than it needs to be, and then they also lose the game.
Yeah, and like some of it's probably the performance, and that's just fans as well. Like they don't have to know everything about football to be a fan. But you know, and I heard this as well. If like clubs are going to treat the fans like customers, then fucking act like a customer. Act like a paying customer. Oh, I don't like this. This is a shit movie.
Exactly.
Hey, get behind the fucking actors, right? They're trying their best out there. You know, the fucking
they're trying to
editors,
win an Oscar, yeah.
The editors of that movie worked night and day trying to make Timothy Chalamet look buff, right? He's not buff. They're doing their best. He's doing his best. You know, but like if you're going to like, I'm paying my ticket to get in here, you're going to charge me, remember, for food and all that, then I'm going to fucking boo if it's shit. I wanted to win.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have both ways. You can't expect like just loyalty from the fans and then like do fucking shit that none of the fans like because you think it'll be good for engagement and clicks. It's like, well, I don't care. You know, it's good. Someone's watching this. You know,
our views have never been higher.
I mean, the comments are full of hate, which is good because there's comments. It's like, well, that's not for the fans. You know what I mean? You can't just like switches. Where's the support, lads? Come on.
It's funny, actually, when we went to see Project Hail Mary, which was savage. It was like I was literally gripped by the film watching it. 2 people got up and left after an hour because they were obviously like, this is a science fiction movie and I'm not into that, and they got up and left. But like I said, at no point was I like, hey, get back here, this is great.
This is Ryan Gosling's big movie, all right? This is the one. This is what makes him Brad Pitt, George Clooney. This is the big. You can't walk out on him now. He needs you now more than ever. Yeah, I mean, it's not the same thing. Obviously, it's sport, but I just think like the clubs are definitely going more kind of, you know, customers, you know, viewers, consumers rather than fans. And then you turn around and go, oh, I can't believe they're walking out on this. You know, I can't believe this. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just hope there's someone close to Miguel Arteta who can just grab him on the shoulders and say, it's happening again.
I don't know if you're aware.
This is happening again. It's happening again, Miguel. And I don't know what you need to do, but you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you just stay on this path, get hammered by City. Who they play? Who they play? Arsenal. Who's the next few games?
Quick breaking news from the past. Man United, of course, playing after about 20-something days of no football for them. 2-0 down at half-time against Leeds. Yep.
Well, I was having such a good week in fantasy football too. Just trying to get out of the hole.
Tell you had a great week of fantasy. You clawed your way back into this race.
Look, we'll take game by game. We first left in the situation, and we're like I say, take it game by game. But yeah, good week this week.
Promising stuff though. 5 points off the guy not playing anymore. That's where you need to be at this stage of the season.
Yeah, of course, exactly. That's what our goal was at the start of this game week. Just try and be better than the next worst guy. And we've done it this week, and hopefully that kind of compounds and we climb up the table. And look, nothing's won yet. We're not getting carried away. We're taking it week by week, as I said. And hopefully next week, double game week coming up. I don't think he's aware that's happening. So
no,
ideally it stays that way. And we go again.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks. Yep, thanks, Josh. Yeah, Arsenal play Man City next. That's a loss. That's in Man City, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big loss coming up there.
Newcastle. I'm not sure how they're feeling right now. I mean, are Newcastle...
Okay. So, Newcastle having a bad season. Very bad anytime I've watched them. Lots of bad results. But Arsenal have a weird thing with Newcastle. That's going to be a big game for some reason for Newcastle.
I think everyone has a weird thing with Arsenal this season. I just think everyone wants them to lose. So it's like when Arsenal are coming, it's not like, oh, here are the league champions or here's the best team in the league. Let's show our stuff. It's like these cunts.
We can get at them.
Yeah, these pricks. I don't like them.
Did you see what they were doing in training?
It's that Mr. Pincus guy. And it's not like Mr. Pincus. We just don't think it's appropriate for him to be in the tunnel. You know? That's what Anthony Gordon is saying. I think if Newcastle, it's more for the teams that they're playing is, do they have the capacity to beat Arsenal? And if they do, they will try and win. You know what I mean? Like where about the City games? Like the Newcastle could beat Arsenal in theory, I think.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Fulham, they were very bad against Liverpool, and like, you know, again they were, because like Bournemouth had 20 odd days to prepare for the Arsenal game. Fulham had the exact amount of time to play against Liverpool, and Liverpool just walked all over them, and they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah.
So again, it's more the case of, would it be funny to beat Arsenal? How funny would it be to the Fulham players to beat Arsenal? Could they beat them? They have decent players. I could see it, you know. Less so than Newcastle, but I could see it. Then they play West Ham, who, I mean, maybe they'll be safe at that point. Maybe Tottenham will have really just given up the ghost until they'll be safe.
Yeah. West Ham in that game. West Ham have no say in that game, I would say. That is entirely dependent on what's happening below them, how much they're going to try against Arsenal.
But again, it's a London team. More West Ham fans know more Arsenal fans than most people. You know, they won't want to be beaten 3-0 by Arsenal. You know, again, they could be over at this point, but then Arsenal play Burnley, who I think they will beat. I don't think Burnley could beat them.
Already relegated, Burnley, yeah.
And then, I mean, the best possible game at the end, Crystal Palace, who like beach soccer.
They'll be swapped.
You know, that's the last game of the season. But yeah, so they will lose to Man City 100%. I think they will lose to Newcastle as well. That'll be it. Fulham, they once they're on it, then they'll beat Fulham. They'll beat West Ham, Burnley, Crystal Palace, and they'll lose. They'll come agonisingly close again and say, we only lost 5 games. Like, yeah, well, you fucking did, didn't you?
Yeah, but you did it again, though.
Now, I guess that's assuming Man City win every game for the season. And I'm not sure who they play.
Which they might not. Again, they blew by Chelsea in the second half. In the first half, they looked awful.
They play Arsenal next, which I think will be a win. Then they play Burnley, which I think will be a win. So picture this: they beat Arsenal, Arsenal lose Newcastle, they beat Burnley. Then
the vibe has changed. Yeah,
they have an FA Cup semi-final against Southampton. Then they play Everton, who are still going for Europe, and I think Everton could beat them. I think their attack is decent enough that they could get out like the Kusanov and the boys at the back there. Then they play Brentford, which again, this is the 9th of May. Will Brentford be like, we've had a great season?
Yeah.
Some of these players are going to the World Cup as well. Will they care at that point?
Some of them also sadly not going to the World Cup. Will they care?
Yeah, well, I mean, they might care more. It's like if you're going for a World Cup and like, you know, are you going to blow out a hamstring chasing Semenyo down the wing? Or are you going to go, he's got past me? You know, like he's better than me. That's why he's at Man City. But, you know, I think Brentford could beat Man City. I think Igor Thiago could get a brace and they could beat Man City. So there's, let me just say, best case scenario, they could lose to Everton. They could lose to Brentford. Then they play Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth could be thereabouts. I think they could lose to Bournemouth. In theory. Then they play Crystal Palace. That's a win, obviously. That could be Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have Arsenal. They must have seen the picture go, this is great, you know. The season will be over by then. We'll beat the bad teams. And then they play Aston Villa at the end, who are still going for Europe. So in theory, Man City have more teams that are going to be going for things. They have 4 teams to play that are going for Europe and Arsenal. Whereas Arsenal have mainly, you know, on the beach teams, mid-table, or relegation fodder. You know, again, they should beat West Ham because West Ham in bad all season, but that's not, I don't think that's going to work.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
If I was a betting man, it's just, I think it's Man City's year again. I just don't see them losing from here. I don't think we've never seen it before. We've never seen them like go on their own and then just like, you know, fucking stall and go, oh, actually, we didn't do it. We're not going the run. We've lost 2 games in a row to Everton and Brentford. I just don't see that happen.
Yeah, because you just be like, well, what the hell was that about in April then? Where did that come from?
Yeah. Now, I guess if Arsenal were to just really lock in and get a 0-0 draw again, it would be back in Arsenal's hands.
I think that's the problem too, is that's what they're going to go for, and it's going to horribly backfire.
God, I feel ill. I feel physically ill about this. It's just an inevitability. You know what I mean? It's like nothing you can do now. It's like it's 12-point lead and it's gone. Even though it's not, but it is. I guess we should talk about Tottenham. They are officially in relegation. They're on 30 points. This is awful for Tottenham. This is an absolute disaster. And I don't know, I mean, it can go one of two ways. It can be like Newcastle, you go down, you come back up again, or it can go like, Leicester or Leeds, and you can or Stoke. Remember Stoke?
Yeah, you can just slowly die.
You just like that, and that was the end of the club. Was the top of the team. Remember the fucking Blackburn? They won the league.
If Spurs go down and say Wrexham managed to come up, Wrexham have loads of money. Do you know what I mean? Like Wrexham could easily replace Spurs. Like, God, it's just so grim. And then getting De Zerbi in is such a mental decision to get like the ultimate system guy who takes a lot of time to figure out the system. And even I think he said himself, look, he's here for the long haul. He's going to be here next season no matter what, which is also like, well, you don't want your manager saying no matter what. You know what that means.
Yeah.
But it's just like a weird, unnecessary risk to take, to be like, look, in the long run, this will be the move. It's like, right, but you need a short-term fix immediately.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the manager or not, or if it's just the players at this point. Like, and not that they had a lot of people. They didn't have everyone. Obviously, they still have the injuries. But, I mean, they had Slanky, Romero, Van de Ven, Porro. I mean, the midfield looked at Gallagher and Gray. That's not great. I mean, I think Xhaka even still is better than both those guys. Attacking of Solanke, Bergval, Colin Moani and Richarlison. I mean, Jesus Christ.
A who's who of people we've made fun of on the podcast.
So, like, any manager in the world, like, what do you want to do with that? They had Xavi Simons on the bench. He's obviously been dropped. Thijs Tel. João Palhinha. I feel it's almost as inevitable as Arsenal coming second. Like, I think it's almost done now. It's like, look, don't fight this anymore. Just, prepare for the championship.
Well, like, because I saw the West Ham game was an unbelievable result. They absolutely turned over Wolves. Our new boy, whatever his name is, Castellanos,
yeah.
Back-to-back goals in like 2 seconds. He did all kinds of new celebrations. He was testing out some new stuff. He hasn't quite landed on it yet.
No.
But like, he's ripping it up. He came in January. In January, Spurs were also spiraling down the table, and the board made a big hullabaloo. I think they put out a statement saying, well, look, you don't want to panic buy anyone in January. Be stuck with a player that you don't need. They needed to panic buy. It's not a panic buy if you actually need them.
Yeah, I guess the whole thing with Tottenham was the sacking of Daniel Levy, which in hindsight now feels kind of like a PR move.
Yeah,
because we're like, this guy's holding the club back, and maybe fans didn't think that, but the owners knew that he was running it, pretty well, certainly for their interest. But like, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to work out this whole this Tottenham season. I mean, you called it, Will, to be fair. I don't think you called relegation, but you said they'd have a bad season. I thought they'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I think I said that they'll do a little better, but not much. But in fact, they did much worse, which is mad. Well, not even much worse. They finished 17th last season, so
yeah, and they look like they're going to finish 18th this year, so they just did a little worse. Not a little better, they're a little worse. But I just saw there Christian Romero missed the rest of the season after suffering knee injury.
Yeah, he went off the pitch crying, and the commentator was like, look, very emotional. He obviously was going to be a huge figure in this relegation battle, and I thought, he doesn't give a fuck about that. He's thinking about the World Cup. He can't play the World Cup anymore.
Yeah, 100% he's thinking about the World Cup, but
they're probably going to win the World Cup.
Well, I actually have a hot take of the World Cup, Will, if it goes ahead.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's going to be Germany's World Cup.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're an outside bet. I think 11-1 at the moment. But I think there's a bit of 2010 about them, where there's like no one's talking about them. They have good young players playing in the Bundesliga, which no one watches, I think it was during the week I was watching the Real Madrid versus Bayern, which was like a fucking God. It was like a different sport. It was unbelievable. It was such a good game, and it wasn't. I mean, they're not perfect teams, I guess, and they didn't pretend to be. Will they didn't say let's control this, let's squeeze left of this game. They said, look, you have a go, we have a go. You have a world class goalkeeper, so do we. Who's going to score more? But your man in the middle for Bayern. Who the fuck is this guy? See, he sounds like an Eastern European name, but he's German. And then, I was doing a bit more research on their right and left back. Never heard of them. They play for Stuttgart and someone else. I was like,
they're good.
They're going to be good. They're going to have a well balanced. They'll have probably Rudiger and probably Jonathan Tah, who were both playing. Like there's a lot of good German players. This is like a good team. And then like who's up front? Voltemata, who has not been playing well. That's the exact kind of player who's going to score 5 goals in the World Cup. It's like, wow, Voltemata, where's he playing for? I think it's going to be, and obviously they didn't win in 2010. They'd won in 2014, but I think they're going to go on a long run, if not win the whole thing. Although France are obviously insanely good, so they might.
France are always insanely good, though. They never do it, so don't mind France. They have too many good players. That's always the problem.
Well, usually I think they'd have too many good players, but because it's Deschamps, he's been there for so long. He has like absolute authority. So if he says Doué's playing instead of whatever, who else would they play instead of Doué? Ekitike, I guess. It's like say Mbappe up front, Doué on the left, Barcola on the right. And Dembele's not playing. I think if I was another coach, they're like, "What the fuck? That's the Ballon d'Or," because Deschamps like that's he's got us to 2 World Cup finals. I think he knows what he's talking about.
It's his last one as well. I think it was confirmed that Zidane's coming in after him. So, I mean, now like they're going to let him do whatever the hell he wants. Surely.
Yeah, I think he has that respect. So I think probably France will win it. I don't think Argentina would win it even with Romero, to be honest. But look, outside bet, Germany. They came third in 2010. I think they're going to have a similar, like, wow, who are these young players never heard of? Type thing. But, I don't know. Tottenham going down. Can they really be happy that Arsenal won the league if they go down? Is that?
This is the thing, is that, like, it's like an added bonus if Arsenal won the league for you, I'd assume. Where it's like, and Spurs go down as well. Like, what a mad season. Whereas I think if Arsenal lose the league, I don't think you're really going to care about anything else in the league. Do you know what I mean?
And for Spurs fans, the opposite. Like, not the opposite, but the same thing, really. Where it's, if they get relegated, it's like, well, Arsenal didn't win the league. It's like they never won the fucking league. We usually don't get relegated.
Of course they did. They never were going to.
But every other year they win the league, we were still in it, Yeah. It's going to be, I think it might be just a grim summer on North London side,
We've said it at the start of the season, and then we kind of changed. Like once they were flying it, we kind of changed mind. But I mean, I'm back on this could be the season for Arteta, where like in the summer they're like, right, that's that. Then no more of that. What the hell was that about the last few years?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this. Like, I think they might try and do something like where they don't want to sack him because it's like, how can you sack a man? They want to avoid all that. Again, they're chronically online. They're worried about what people will say and think, so they'll fucking chicken out of a fucking decision. Instead, they'll bring in a director of football to force him out, whose sole job is like, we just want you to annoy Arteta till he leaves. That's kind of what we want you to do.
Yeah, don't give him anything.
Yeah, just disagree with everything he says. Even if you think it's good, just disagree with what he says until he goes, I can't work at this, and go, thank fuck. I think if they lose this one, that's what they'll do. They'll bring in, or like an assistant coach or some kind of director of football above him that has a veto on all his decisions, or, gives him players he doesn't want, something like that. And then he'll leave at the end of next season, and they'll probably sell Saka and stuff like that. It'd be the beginning and the end, I think.
That'll be that then.
That'll be that. That'll be it. We won't be doing the podcast, so it's fine. We won't have to even think about it. Yeah, I don't watch football anymore. Nah, I just kind of support local grassroots stuff. That's me now, yeah. I don't watch Arsenal.
5 years of the podcast, it ends, and we're like, no change for Arsenal or Man United from the 5 years ago. Could have just done nothing. Yeah,
no leagues between the two of them. Yeah. It's the memories, Will. It's the laughs along the way. Maybe the medals were the laughs we had along the way. I don't know. What is the story of the Man United game? What's the breaking news from the past?
It was 2-0 to Leeds at half time. Now it is 2-0 to Leeds, 64 minutes in, and Lisandro Martinez got a red card on his big return from injury after a few months out.
Jesus.
So it's all going pear-shaped there.
Not
good for Carrick. He's got to ramp up at the end of the season, not taper out, or he will be out of a job.
A lot of recency bias, especially if there's 3 weeks in between your games. You know, they're only going to remember the last. This is the last quarter, kind of almost, or whatever. You know, it's like Q4, very important for Michael Carrick. But I don't know.
That's the thing as well. Like, you had 21 days or whatever it was, and then you come out and you lose 2-0 to Leeds, and you've also in the middle of that did like a weird mid-season pre-season tour of Dublin. Did you see that, where they were like training? And
what was that? Because I was looking at this, and a lot going on obviously in the world generally. For anyone who didn't know, actually, we were actually up at the protests. That's why we didn't do the episode last day. You know, we just thought they're protesting for this, they're protesting for that. Maybe we throw some funding for nonsense in there. You know, hey, tax back for
I had our podcast.
Tax back for podcasts. Give us money for podcasts. You know,
we tried to do an episode, but we couldn't hear ourselves over the beeping and the like honking of the horn.
Yeah, so. And to be honest, we got some guarantees from local car TDs that we'd be at the meeting, and that was just it was never delivered upon.
Turned up at the door, we turned away at the door.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was humiliating, but but that was going on. So I was like, are Leeds and Man United playing this Premier League game in Croke Park? Is that what I've skimmed over?
Is that on Friday? Yeah,
what's happening?
That's what it felt like. It was an incredible move because Man United are playing Leeds in a pre-season friendly next season in Croke Park. Croke Park, by the way, don't give a fuck about the whole nothing but guy here anymore. Whatever you want to do, we actually don't care anymore. So, yep, let Man United in, play Leeds. If Leeds don't get relegated, so they were promoting a game that might not happen. I don't know who plays instead if they go down. Wrexham, I assume, probably. But yeah, because United are off for 4 weeks, they've no Champions League or Cups or anything like that, so why not bring the boys over to promote the game and do some training in Dublin? And like literally, I think Mbumu and Ahmed Diallo did a press conference in Croke Park, struggling to answer questions about something they didn't really know about. Like, are you looking forward to playing in Dublin? Yes. And what are you most looking forward to? Training for the season.
and what do you have in your chicken fillet roll? It's like it's plain or spicy, Ahmad.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. And also, I assume they were over there while the farmer protests began, so a mad mid-season pre-season for Man United. So maybe that took a toll on them coming into this Leeds game, which, by the way, I just saw is in Old Trafford.
Oh, right. I thought it was, I didn't know where it was. I thought it was Croke Park for a second. It's like, that seems mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to us, Will, I don't think it's the podcast's fault because they were bad before the podcast too. So we haven't had any effect on this. I want to reassure ourselves here. This isn't our fault. I think so. Now, when I say that they're first and third, like, this is awful. This is
this is the worst yet.
It's actually probably for Arsenal and Man United as a collective, it's probably been the best season of the podcast ever where they finished.
It's very rare they're both doing okay.
Yeah,
only one's doing terrible, the other one's flying it. Yeah,
because the seasons that Man United finished second, Arsenal were like 10th, and I was thinking of this as well. I think Arsenal are 10 out, he's got to go. It's like, 4 seasons in a row, second place. It's pretty demoralizing. But 5 seasons ago, they were nowhere. And if you said in 5 seasons' time, Arsenal are going to finish second, like, oh, pretty good. That's nice. We're back, kind of. But if you then add the context of, and that'd be the 4th season in a row, it's like, well, that doesn't sound like we're making any progress.
Yeah. Okay, so good in one way. You shouldn't have told me about the other 3 seasons, yeah.
So I do hate when people say, like, he's brought them from nowhere. It's like you can't just, like, take random snapshots and time and go, look, he was there, now they're here. You want to sack him? It's like, well, like,
yeah.
Look at,
because that was the thing. Remember they were playing. Remember last season? It felt like, wow. Maybe the season before when they were back in the Champions League. It, like when you were seeing them in the Champions League, it was like, this feels mad seeing Arsenal back in the Champions League. But it wasn't like, wow, Arsenal's first time ever in the Champions League. It's like, no, they used to be in it the whole time.
Yeah. It's, and I guess the same as what, like, say for Man United or for Liverpool, where it's like you're thinking of where you were and you can't see the progress. That's like, nah, we used to win things. We're only second. It's like, yeah, but they're progressing. So I just, like, I hate that kind of like very specific kind of stuff where it's like booing. Why? Get behind the team. It's like, right. All right. You're going to.
It's because of the whole context of everything. That's why.
It's because it's happening again. It's happening again. We're going to be made fun of relentlessly.
This will be the worst one ever, too. Yeah. This will be like this. They haven't really had one. The last few years, like they got the bottling thing thrown at them, but they didn't really. They just ran out of steam and felt like more than bottled it. Whereas, I mean, this is a real one, I think. This is like the Gerrard slip kind of thing of like they'd be pointing to the table and it's like, look, they had this much points at this stage of the season and they lost. Isn't that funny? That's what's gonna be thrown.
I think it's because it's consecutive years. It's very funny. It's when someone like, falls over or something and they fall over again. It's like, oh my, like the next night out they fall over again. It's like, oh, fucking hell, it's Slippy over here, The third night, it's like, I cannot believe he's fell over again, Like
it's now comical.
And then he's like, stop fucking making fun of me. I don't fall over that often. You know what?
And he slips on a banana peel while he's saying
fucking
it. Yeah.
Jerry fucking shit himself and you want to laugh at me because I fell over. Why is that fair? So we like Jerry,
Yeah, well, Dave has 115 charges against him from the courts. They're alleged.
And then he falls over again. It's like, it's very funny. He tries to push over Jerry and he falls, it's like, that's because that's what you do. You're the guy who falls. It's just very funny,
I mean, again, like we said, if I told you at the start of the season, 6 points clear at the top with 6 games to go, you'd be like, we're fucking flying it. What a season. But it's just when you're actually in it, though.
Well, I'd say, why are you saying like that? Why?
Well, if you're speaking from the future, why aren't you saying the finals?
why are you positioning it as if it's like, this is good, right? I feel like there's a rug pull coming here. You're going to say, well, actually, the next game you lose, and the next of that you also lose. And the next game of that you draw, and it's there goes 6 points, 7 points, turn, and then you're done. See, that's what you're saying, isn't it? It is Genie, isn't it? Genie from the future.
I hate this Genie. The football Genie comes to mock people.
Yeah.
How would you feel about? Yeah. What if I told you?
What if I told you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came back to the club and led them to second place? Nice. Yeah, it does sound nice, doesn't it?
Just you wait.
What if I told you the core of the team was young players from the local area? That sounds amazing. It does, doesn't it?
How does a Paul Pogba coming back sound?
Yeah. The core of the team are really good friends and they're all young. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like if you just take away some of the key context of what's happening, it's like it does sound good. This should be good. I don't know why. I don't know what the fans could possibly be booing about Genie. This makes no sense to me. But I guess I'm not there. I'm not seeing the games every week. Anyway, Champions League. We got Arsenal Sporting. Skip that one. It's going to be bad and boring.
Good call last time, by the way. That was a definite skipper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not even impressive to call these things anymore. Like, it's just pick the game that's not the Arsenal game. It's like, yeah, obviously. I'm not an idiot.
I think Arsenal squeezed the life out of Sporting and get maybe a 0-0 win there.
Oh, wouldn't like it. It's very nice. That would be the worst. Jesus, if they got 0-0 at home.
Well, look, they need to learn how to get clean sheets. That's how you're going to win the rest of the league. That's what Arteta is going to be saying.
If Arsenal win the Champions League somehow, and they don't win the league, what's that like? What's the feeling there? I think everyone's happy that way. I think Arsenal fans go, "Hey, fuck, we won the Champions League for the first time ever." No one really cares who wins the Champions League. It's kind of like, yeah, well, we weren't even in that, and so you won the league. It would just be. I think it'd be very hollow. I think no one would be happy. In fact, I think no one would be happy.
It wouldn't prove anything. Yeah.
You've proven nothing, Arsenal. You're still the worst team in the league somehow.
Sure, we can all fluke a Champions League.
Oh, I've heard that actually. I've heard that. Is it hard to win the league or Champions League? You can fluke a Champions League.
Yeah.
It's like, right.
It's only like 50 teams that have won it, it feels like.
Yeah. I guess they use examples like, oh, well, Inter got the final. Didn't win it. They got destroyed twice. Anyways, yeah, that's for ultras only. So you want to listen to our response to the our response? What am I talking about? You want to hear our analysis on the Champions League? You got to sign up, be an ultra, $4.50 a month. Link in the description of this episode. Patreon.com/nonsense. You'll find it. If you want to find it, you'll find it. It's not hard to find.
If you don't know by now, Jesus.
Yeah. Anyways, was there anything else, Will?
No, I think that's it pretty much.
Got over the line. Okay. Yeah, we will see the Ultras on Friday, and we'll see everybody else next week. Have a good week. Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.